I feel like most confidence advice online is made for confident people who want to be more confident. I'm not a confident person. Like on a scale from an average human being to Kanye West, I'm Dobby the house elf or Piglet from Winnie the Pooh. And that's problematic because less confident people are more prone to depression, loneliness, they progress slower in their careers, and they earn on average 30,000 US dollars less every year.
Where's my money at?
So today I want to share some advice that hopefully can help if, like me, you are starting from a pretty low confidence level. And no, it won't make you Kanye level of confident. That's unhealthy. But it can help you feel more at ease among other human beings and go after opportunities that you deserve. Let's start with some good news. Overconfident people do not score best in the game of life. Actually, overconfidence can be an issue. Overconfident people sometimes do not respond well to feedback. They don't see the need to work on themselves. They are not exactly self-aware and often not the best team players. But on the other hand, extremely low self-confidence is not helpful either. It leads to worry, stress, which impacts performance. It makes us not trust ourselves and give up way too soon. It also makes us insecure, which impacts romantic relationship and can lead to loneliness. So we want to be in the middle of that spectrum, the sweet spot where you trust yourself, you feel good with who you are, but also you are humble enough to know that you need to work on yourself. So this is what we're aiming at today. Before we get into all the advice, I want to share with you my personal story. So if that's not of interest, you can skip to the next part. I won't mind. I started off extremely shy, introverted, not confident at all, and I went to being brave enough to put myself on camera, to go live in Bali with 30 strangers for a month, doing my yoga teacher training, teaching my first yoga class, making friends in London, so I can no longer say I don't have friends in London. It's a slow process, and if you watch my videos, you can notice how I often do not look directly into the camera because I find it awkward. And also most of my videos are like 70% scripted because I don't trust myself not to say something stupid. And also in some of my videos, there's this clock behind me, and one observant subscriber noticed how a 10-minute video sometimes takes me 3-4 hours to film because I slip up so much. But I feel like I put myself out there despite being scared, and I build this solid self-worth that allows me not to give up on myself when I do mess up and slip up. So I don't miss out on opportunities in life, which I feel like is most important. So if I made it happen, so can you, and I want to share with you everything that helped me so that you can get this sooner than I did.
We're falling down, we're fading.
I was in a restaurant with my friend. We ordered our food, we got our dishes. She looks at her plate and she goes to the waiter, "Hi, could I get more cheese? Like a lot more?" And I look at her and I wonder, what if the chef gets angry? Can you just modify the dish after you got it? Myself, if I get the wrong thing, it takes all my courage to ask the waiter very apologetically, "Hi, I actually didn't order this. Do you mind bringing me my food if it's not a problem? Otherwise, I will eat the steak tartare. I mean, I am vegetarian, but I don't want to cause any trouble." I found it very hard to assert myself, to speak up, to be seen, to take up space. And I also realized it wasn't something that I was able to change overnight. So I started practicing asserting myself in small ways every single day.
Like what?
Like if I walked into a yoga studio, instead of thinking where I'm least visible, I would pick a spot that I like if it was free. I would say hello to the people in my class, looking them in the eye. Unless they were scary looking, then I wouldn't say anything. In a shop, I would ask a shop assistant for advice, like which jeans do you think would look good on me? I would ask strangers for directions. I would ask for modifications in my food. Small things, but every single day.
More cheese.
More cheese. If you relate to this, there's a chance that you have this habit of apologizing for existing and that you hope that the world will not see you. But the world deserves to see you. It deserves everything that you have to offer. And you deserve to take up space in this world, to speak up and to be heard. You also deserve kindness and all the good things. And it would seem illogical that we believe that we deserve all the good things, but do we really deep down? Do we honor our needs? Do we prioritize ourselves? Maybe you were taught to always put others first. Maybe you were taught that being nice to yourself is selfish and wrong. Maybe you could never find the time. Myself, to change that narrative, I started practicing taking care of myself. And I don't mean that in this indulgent, treat yourself kind of way. I think selfish self-care looks at wants, while true self-care looks at needs. So I would grab a blanket or a pair of socks if I'm cold. I would leave a bottle of water on my desk if I'm studying, or a cup of tea. I would wear my happy bee slippers because they make me happy. I would do things for myself that I would do for my family and friends. I also saw this TikTok where people prepared for a crazy night out by leaving next to their bed a bucket, painkillers, water, because they knew that they would come home late at night and drunk. And I started doing that for myself, but not the crazy going out version, but normal life version, where I prep for the next day, I prepare my clothes, my bag, to make things easy for myself early in the morning. If you are a natural giver or an empath, or if you have people-pleasing tendencies, or all the above, there's a chance that you struggle to be on the receiving end. I definitely did. Like if somebody gave me a compliment, oh, nice t-shirt, I would say, oh, it's an old rag, had it for years. So I started practicing catching that thought and just saying, oh, that's so nice of you, thank you. And that was very hard at the beginning. I also remember signing up for my first massage, and I really struggled to relax for a single second, knowing that there's somebody putting in the effort for me.
Even the first massage that I ever gave you was hard.
Yeah. So if you are the same, if you can relate, practice easing into that and receiving whatever people give you with gratitude, with a smile. Know that you deserve all the goodness, all the kindness in the world, and you also deserve to think about your needs and cater to them. Believing in yourself is a full-time job. No days off. But it's easy to believe in yourself when you're doing great and you're winning and everybody's complimenting you. But the moment you slip up, the moment you mess up, the moment you look stupid, that's when it's easiest to fall back into those negative thought patterns of hatred, self-criticism, toxic self-talk. But also these are the moments when you need your self-kindness and self-compassion the most. Knowing this, I try to be prepared and I have this list of things that I'm proud of. I try to have it somewhere accessible, like my phone. And the things that I have on it are things like, I'm proud of the fact that I am a good friend. I'm proud of the fact that I call my parents regularly. I'm proud of the fact that I still read books. There's nothing too small to put on the list, and you can update it regularly so that you can have it when you need it the most. Remember, you are not defined by your failures, and the fact that you wished you did something differently or better, that's a sign of progress. That's a sign that you're growing. And also it's a sign that you're humble, that you're willing to work on yourself, and these are things to be proud of. I'm a big believer in the power of words, especially the words that you say in your head that nobody else hears. These are like a programming language for your brain. The science behind it is actually crazy. Our brain cannot tell what is real and what it's not. And when you think something, it's trying to prove it right. It's called confirmation bias. It's as if somebody told you that number 6 is a magic number and suddenly you start seeing number 6 everywhere. So how you speak to yourself matters. But I remember when I first started reading about cutting out toxic self-talk, I found it so challenging. I tried to go from this hardcore self-criticism to being like, yes, queen, you're the best.
That sounds so bad.
Yeah, it's just not who I am, so that didn't work. And I fell into this trap that each time I had a bad thought of myself, I would go into this loop of, bad Daria, having bad thoughts again. And that was kind of the whole point, not to do that. So instead, I tried to, every time I had a negative thought, end it on a slightly positive note. So if I said to myself in my head, Daria, you're so bad at Canva, I would end it with, but you can learn. You can take another course and get better at it. And if I thought in my head, oh, today was so bad, I did so bad in that client call and the presentation was just horrible, I completely blanked out, I would end it with, but tomorrow is another day and we can try again. And that just seemed a lot more natural to who I was and more accessible. What also helps me make kindness my default language to myself is doing regularly loving kindness meditations. I like to think of it as downloading a new, nicer software for my brain where the internal voice assistant is a lot nicer. There are plenty of loving kindness meditations on YouTube that you can try, but if you truly want to shift how you speak to yourself in the long term, it's better to try to be regular with it. Another unusual confidence advice that helped me was to focus on other people. I noticed that while speaking up for myself, advocating for myself, complimenting myself is incredibly hard, I can do that for other people, and I can do it pretty well. And interestingly, being kind and open to others can be a gateway to being kinder to ourselves, to having better self-worth, and to being more confident in social contexts. Wait a second. This is the premise of this book by Lucy Cavendish, who's a relationship therapist, and a quote from her book. Move through the world as someone who knows, absolutely knows, that everyone deserves a little kindness, warmth, and love, and see how the world responds. Walk through the world as if you are emanating love, kindness, and openness. Smile at people, compliment strangers. People will feel safe and happy in your presence. You will begin to see yourself in this light, and you will begin to change how you feel internally and externally. So I challenge myself to compliment strangers if I think something nice of them. I ask people taking a selfie if they want a photo of them taken. And it's beginning to work. I do feel a lot more confident. I remember I used to be fixated on this idea that becoming more confident means being more self-centered and always putting myself out there. But it could come from a different place. Speaking up when you see injustice takes courage. Asking a complete stranger who's crying if they need help takes courage. And if you are this good, open-hearted human to others, you begin to build your self-worth from something true and good and genuine, and no one can take that away from you. It's not fake it till you make it kind of confidence. It's not this type of confidence that you will lose once you no longer wear that fancy outfit or no longer wear that makeup. It's something that's part of you. It's something very solid, and this is long-lasting. It's confidence that comes from a good place. You deserve everything that is good. You deserve to be spoken to softly, especially on your bad days. Give yourself the kindness and compassion that you would to other people. Take your time. The confidence will follow.